Ooh-wee. How's everybody doing? I'm telling you what, folks, it's hot. I live in Illinois, and we are going through a bit of a heat wave. You can see that glistening off my head like it is. Woo! Anyway, welcome to today's video. So today, I'm going to be doing a video on some differences between the Rockville Titan Pro and the new Titan Pro. So the Titan Pro in particular that I'm talking about is the Titan Array that's got the two 10-inch subs on the bottom, and it's got 10 3.5-inch drivers. Your first column is basically a spacer. Your second column is 5 3.5-inch speakers, and the top column has got 5 3.5-inch speakers. So I am so impressed by this system. $5.99 for a system, to me, that's as good as almost any one that's on the market. It is. I have tested these things. I own 3 of them now. I just got a third one in the mail today. But it's different than the other 2 that I have. So this is what I want to do before I go into talking about the differences, is talk about the quality of these builds. The quality of these builds is amazing to me. I mean, these things are built like a tank. I've pushed these things and pushed them and pushed them. No distortion. They've got great low end. I mean, just absolutely great low end. So to tell you how the bottom is set up, the sub on the bottom is set up where the 10-inch, the speakers are over and under. So your top speaker, which would be closest to the top of the unit, the sub is facing directly forward. The one that is below it is actually facing down at the ground at a 45-degree angle. So what that does is it allows the floor to uses the floor to create more bass and helps the bass travel along the floor. And it really is a great design. Whoever designed that is great. I've seen a lot of different designs of subs. I've seen a folded horn sub. I've seen subs that are basically that kind of aim towards each other. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of different configurations. Sorry, I'm sweating like a Baptist preacher here, y'all. But what I've noticed is just how much bass you can get out of these things. It's amazing. These things are rated 800 watts RMS. I believe they're rated at 1200 program. Yeah, and then they're rated at 1600 watts peak or something like that. These things are amazing. Now, I did have an issue with the first one that I bought. I had like a driver in it that's gone bad. So I've sent it back. It's under warranty, so I've sent it back to Rockville. The only unfortunate thing is they didn't tell me at first that I needed to send the whole unit back. The guy on the phone told me all I had to do was send back the bad section. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's what I did. But then I get an email about 2 weeks later, and he tells me, no, you got to send the whole thing back. So that's one reason why I ordered a new one, is because I wanted a new one, for one, because I like to have 3. When I use my subs for like bigger gigs, I put one behind me as a monitor, and I put 2 out front. I've used every tower array system I've had, I've always had 3 of them. That's just kind of the way I do things. When I used to have the turbo sound IP3000s and 2000s, I used a 2000 as a monitor, and I used the 3000s as front of house. So, you know, what that does is allows even your monitor to kind of be a center fill. So that's kind of the way I do things. Anyway, what I've noticed with these new Titan arrays, and why I say new, is because I just got them back in stock. But what I didn't notice until I opened the box is they've changed some things. And I will talk about the 2 main things that they have changed since the first one that I bought. All right, so we're going to take these away just for a second, set them off to the side. So first thing, we'll look at the old one. This is just the spacer. So if you look at this spacer here, you can see those little notches on the spacer. So I'll show you why these notches are important. If you take these notches, See, the way that this is designed, it's a locking connection. So what happens is you put it in slightly sideways, and you got to kind of push down on it till you can hear it click, and then you turn it. And once you turn it, it locks in place. So the connection that this uses on the bottom is just, it's a 1/4 inch connection. So I thought that was always cool. You know, I like the fact that, you know, that you could do that. So we're going to go to the new one. As you can tell, this looks identical to the old one, right? Not quite. Look at this. They've changed it. They've changed this to a very interesting connection here. It's got 4 pins, and then it's got a metal centerpiece. So you can see here how that works like that. That's the way a lot of them go together nowadays. So I guess they wanted to standardize it. I don't know. But once you put this in, all you have to do is pretty much just drop it in. That's it. I don't know if that centerpiece is magnetic or not. I have no clue. But I have noticed, make sure that's good and tight down in there. Okay, so if you can see how there's a little play in that, how it moves a little bit? That's not a big deal to me because normally it's not where somebody's going to bump. I don't keep it where somebody's going to bump into it. But you can tell there's some play in it. Now let's go to the new one. Look at this. It wiggles just a tad bit, but not near as much as the old connection. This connection in here is deeper, and it's also gives it more stability, gives the bottom part more stability. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this because I've never had any issues with this at all. But with this new one, seeing the way that this locks in place, it doesn't lock in place the way it slides down in there, it gives it a lot more stability. And here's another thing I noticed that's different, is if you look at this, can you hear that? This is almost like a sandpaper finish. It's rough. This finish, it's different. It's smooth. So sorry I'm sweating on my speakers. I am sweating like you wouldn't believe. But as you can see, there's no changes in the connections in the top because all the connections still have the little 1/4 inch pin that runs through the center. See? Same connection here. So those are the only 2 things that have changed out of these things. And I was wondering why for the life of me, why they were out of stock so long. And I was like, man, that's unusual for them to be out of stock this long because normally they always have these in stock. Well, that's why they were out of stock, is because they were redesigning and revamping the connection for the bottom and obviously changing the finish. But other than that, these things are great. You can't go wrong with these Rockville. They're $5.99 free shipping, people. You hear that? $5.99 free shipping. I've got a pair of I got a pair of Electro Voice little battery powered speakers that have an 8 and a 1 inch titanium driver in them. Let me tell you what, those things cost me like over $700. It's crazy. So though I get a whole system for not even the price of what I paid for just, one of those Electro Voice. And I know Electro Voice is kind of in a whole category in itself because they're a very well-known brand, been around for a very long time. That's why I say it's all in a name. Sometimes you can find inexpensive equipment that is just as good as some of your high tier stuff, but because they're not a well-known brand or because they don't have the marketing that a lot of these other people do and they don't have the name that a lot of these other people do, they're able to sell their products cheaper. I love Rockville. I'm gonna see about buying some monitors from them, and I'll do a review on their monitors too. I love Rockville, and if you love Rockville as much as I do, check out their website. Check out all the cool stuff they got. They do lighting. They've got sound stuff for motorcycles. They got sound stuff for cars. They've got sound stuff for boats. They got stage lighting. They've got all sorts of things, all sorts of little things that, you wouldn't think you actually needed until you saw it. And the prices are just absolutely out of this world. Awesome prices, awesome people. I'm not paid to do this by Rockville at all. I just know that I love the company And if you like them as much as I do, check them out. And if you don't know who they are, still check them out. They got some cool stuff, man. So until next time, we'll see ya. And the next review I will do is on some Rockville monitors that I may be getting. So until then, stay cool. Keep making music. Peace.